right, so we notice here we're trying to factor this trinomial, but the problem is there's this value right in front, what we call an a value, is a 6. We're not used to a value being there. If there is, usually we try to factor out the greatest common factor, but 6, 11, and 3, there's not a greatest common factor with those three numbers. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to do a method that I refer to as busting B. I prefer us to be able to think through the possibilities, but we're going to go ahead and do this busting B method that it's a pretty easy way to get the answer to what two binomials multiply together to give us this 6x squared plus 11x plus 3. So here's what we do. You have your 6, which is in the A spot. The 11 is what's referred to as the B spot, and that 3 is in the C spot. We're going to go ahead and always multiply these numbers here, 6 times 3, which gives us 18. So we do A times C, the A value times the C value to start the problem. It gives me a positive 18. I then do the same thing I normally do of thinking of the factors. What multiplied together to give me 18? 1 times 18, 2 times 9, 3 times 6. Now, which of those could give you an 11? We can see it's the 2 and the 9. And we see that it's, again, going to be a plus 2 and a plus 9 because, again, we have a positive 18 here and there's a positive right there. So we know everybody's positive. So here's what we do. We're going to bust the B down. This is why I call it a busting B method. We'll break it into two parts. So that 11x is going to break into a 2x plus a 9x. And now the rest, the 6x squared comes down. The 3 comes down. So notice all I did is I broke that 11x, the B part, into two pieces. Now, here's what we're going to come in and do. We're going to group these together. We're going to do what's called factoring by grouping now. We're going to group the first part, group the second part, because I have it in four pieces. That's always factor by grouping. I'm going to look at this first part, 6x squared plus 2x. What can factor out of both? Well, 2 and 6, they have a common factor of 2, and they both have an x. So I'm going to factor out a 2x. Let's see what's left behind. 2x times what gives you 6x squared? Well, 2 times 3 gives me the 6. X times another x gives me x squared. Plus 2x times what gives you back the 2x? 1, because I factored everybody out. So there's just left behind the number 1. All right, let's now factor this piece. 3 and 9x, what do they have? Common factor of 3 can be factored out, and that's it. So 3 times what gives you 9x? 3 times 3 gives you the 9, and then there's just an x. 3 times what gives you 3? A 1. Now notice what we have done. We have a 3x plus 1 here, a 3x plus 1 here. We can actually factor that out of the 2. And then we were left behind with a 2x plus what? The 3 right there. And this guy, 6x squared, factors to a 3x plus 1 times a 2x plus 3. Those are the two binomials that multiply together to give us that answer up top. And you could check it if you want. 3x times 2x, 6x. 3x times that will be 9x. 1 times 2x will be your 2x. There's your 11x. 1 times 3, there's your 3 at the end. So you have 6x squared plus 11x plus 3. Yep, that works.